What's going on, everyone, and welcome to today's weather discussion video for Sunday, February 26th, 2023. We have a moderate risk of severe storms across portions of Oklahoma and an enhanced risk of severe storms spreading from Texas, Oklahoma, to portions of Kansas, Missouri, and portions of Arkansas. As you can see here on the latest satellite, there is cloud cover currently over Texas and Oklahoma. However, that cloud cover is starting to clear out. That is going to allow for some destabilization of the atmosphere and generate instability. The system right now is located over the Four Corners region. This is the system that is going to produce the severe weather. There is strong shear with this system. So the coupling of strong shear and daytime heating plus warm moist air is going to generate a risk for tornadoes. Let's take a look at the national hazards map. You can see there are still blizzard warnings in California, winter storm warnings for the northern portions of the west coast, winter storm warnings across portions of Arizona and portions of Utah, even up into Wyoming and Idaho. There are winter storm warnings and winter storm watches in the western Great Lakes region of Wisconsin and Minnesota, and there's also winter storm watches now up for portions of New York State and southern New England. Our main focus for today is this right here. There is a moderate risk for portions of extreme northeast Texas and much of Oklahoma. Let's further dive into this moderate risk. The moderate risk is affecting approximately 2.8 million people. The enhanced risk is within 2.6 million people. The slight risk is within 5.1 million people. The marginal risk is 10.4 million people. There is now a hatched area for tornadoes and a small area of 10% of tornadoes chance within 25 miles. Remember yesterday we were showing the experimental model which had higher tornado odds than the SPC was going for? Well, the SPC has now increased the favorability of tornadoes with this event. There remains a hatched area for damaging winds and a 45 plus area for a good chunk of Oklahoma for extreme damaging winds. There is also now a hatched area for hail. So this is a pretty significant severe weather day. Then we come down here and read the SPC summary, and I want you to read this and listen to this carefully because this is pretty serious. A derecho is forecasted with widespread damaging winds and embedded swaths of significant severe gusts ranging from 80 to 110 miles per hour, centered on parts of Oklahoma this evening into tonight. Embedded tornadoes are anticipated as well, with the greatest potential for strong EF2s and EF3s tornadoes across southwest Oklahoma this evening. You don't hear the word derecho very often in February. It's rare. For those who do not know what a derecho is, it's a long-lived system that produces damaging winds that tracks multiple hundreds of miles, and that is now expected by the Storm Prediction Center for this evening. Let's take a look at that NATOcast, that experimental model that I looked at yesterday and showed you. It still has a 10% area across extreme northeast Texas and southwest Oklahoma. It also is projecting a hatched area for tornadoes. So this is very serious. It's pretty much projecting that any supercell that forms will contain a tornado. So this is really serious. Let's get into the model aspect of this. And we're taking a look at the HRR here. Initiation of the storms happens in extreme western Oklahoma and northern Texas. This is around 8 o'clock this evening. And as you can see here, it pretty much fires up real quickly. And it's the fact that it's discrete prior to going organized, that's where we have to watch for the potential for tornadoes. And watch what the HRR does here. It creates two clusters of storms. So here's your main squall line, but look at this. It has a supercell that continues out ahead of it. Should that happen, you are talking a long track tornado. So that's not a good situation. And after that, it congeals into one squall line and pretty much wipes through the entire state of Oklahoma, with the biggest threat for damaging winds from this being Oklahoma City on west, and even Norman, Oklahoma. That's where the Storm Prediction Center is located. They need to be on high watch today. And this is going to continue, and it's going to continue into Arkansas, northwest Arkansas, and portions of Missouri. And look at this. The HRRR is projecting the damaging wind aspect continues into Missouri now and really goes through much of the state. So that's something we're going to have to keep our eye on this evening. Looking a little deeper into the HRR model, let's take a look at the instability here. And for those who do not know, the higher the instability, this is called CAPE. The higher the CAPE, the more unstable the atmosphere is. So we know there's going to be strong high dew points for this time of year and strong shear, but look what's going with that. Right here where the hatched area is, right here where the 10% area is, that's CAPE of 2000. That is unusually high for this time of year. That is more than enough energy, coupled with all the other dynamics, to generate a tornado threat. This energy does shift east slightly, but it starts to diminish tonight. And that's why in places like Arkansas and even in Missouri, straight line winds is your bigger threat. And Arkansas, you're not going to really have as big of a threat as Missouri. Missouri's where the better chance for damaging winds is, because you'll still have lingering shear, and you're going to be closer to the area of low pressure, which will be down to 984 or 982 millibars according to the HRRR model at that point. Let's take a look at another simulated radar real quickly. Here's the FV3 model, and this is showing similar things, but it is a little delayed in getting the severe threat going. It does show some supercells up in Kansas, but it doesn't really organize this until it gets to around Oklahoma City, and then it becomes an organized squall line through much of Missouri and even into portions of Illinois. Look at this. It continues. And we'll change the region of this to the continental U.S. And it actually shows there being a damaging wind threat right on up to Chicago. Now, the Storm Prediction Center for tomorrow does have another slight risk area from Illinois into Indiana and western Ohio. And that is well represented here on the FV3 model. And this would continue in up to about Columbus. Once you get east of Columbus, there really isn't much of a threat of severe weather. Now, for tomorrow, we are watching this in the evening. This same system could produce some wintry wecks from, say, State College down to Harrisburg, maybe even Philadelphia. Philadelphia is still on the fence and a back and forth with the models on northeast through New England. We have to watch. Look what happens here. Heavy snow breaks out in northeast PA, portions of New York State, and look what happens here around southeast Pennsylvania. You get some sleet that mixes in with the snow. New York City, this is heavy snow for you on this model. And I do think New York City is a fair bet for at least 2 to 4 inches of snow at this point, maybe mixing with some sleet at some point. Once you get north of New York City, this is a good 3 to 6 inch system for much of New England and New York State, maybe even isolated 8-inch amounts. So this is a relatively healthy system, but it's nothing on the major aspect. But for New York City, this could be your biggest snowfall event of the season. Remember, you have not seen much snow this season. You've seen hardly anything. So a system of this size is significant compared to the rest of the season. Now let's quickly take a look at the GFS model, which just came out here not too long ago. And the GFS model is showing, here's our system, it creates the severe wecks down here in Oklahoma. Then it continues eastward. And watch what happens here. There's the mixing line right over southeast PA. And GFS even now is showing a healthy thumping of snow for New York City. Beyond this, we have to watch late this upcoming week. Here's our next system down south. There's still some model discrepancy. The GFS is on the northwest side of the bracket and does not show a major snowstorm for the I-95 corridor. However, it is showing a major snowstorm for the Great Lakes region, such as Chicago, Michigan, Detroit. You're actually mixed over terrain with this, and extreme northern New England. Then you get over here to the European model, which is not in yet. We're using last night's European model, and watch what happens with the European model. It's more southeast. It does show a major snowstorm for the I-95 corridor. At this rate, we're going to take a blend in between and take a look at the GEFS, which is the ensemble of the GFS. And what's that showing? Well, watch. The GEFS is actually leaning north on its package here, on the model. As you can see here, there's a lean. See these green colors? That means the model is leaning with its members to the northwest of the mean. And that suggests that a more northwest track is favorable. Will it be as far northwest as the GFS shows? Not quite entirely sure as that, because you have to remember tomorrow's system was one time forecast to be more north, and that shifted south. Could we see the same thing happen with this next system? It's very well possible. Do I favor what the Euro shows, where a 995 snowstorm occurs? No. But it could turn out to trend far enough south to where northwest Pennsylvania, portions of the Ohio Valley, New York, upstate New York, not New York City, upstate New York, do come into play for a snowstorm. So we'll have to watch here. It's only Sunday. We're talking about a system that would occur on next Thursday into Friday, so we still have several days to watch this. All right, recapping again. If you live in Oklahoma, Northeast Texas, and portions of Arkansas, be prepared now. You should have your plan in action. This is going to be a nighttime tornado event right as the sun sets into the night. So have your weather radio at the ready and be prepared to seek your lowest level of your home if need be, and if you go into a tornado warning or even a tornado emergency. I will have updates on this on my Twitter account. Follow me at COVID Data Report for updates on that. I'll post watches and other stuff that goes up throughout the day. And until our next weather video, which will be again tomorrow, thanks for watching this. And if you find my content to be informal and educational to you, hit the like and subscribe button down below. Until next time, stay safe, everyone.